Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today's video is kind of a day in the life thrift with me video. I went to a bunch of different places and then just showed other little bits of my day. So first stop is this thrift store that I did post a walkthrough of fairly recently, so I can link that video. But at this particular store, they have a lot of seasons of TV shows and you can trade in for... So we traded in 6 seasons, so we were able to get 3 for free, or like for trade. So that's what I was doing. I was down here looking. We just had some duplicates, so I was down here looking for some. I noticed that they had newlyweds, which I thought was really funny. I didn't see any that we needed to like complete any series, but I did find 3 that I'll show you later. And since I just did a walkthrough here fairly recently, I didn't really bother doing another one, but I did just film a little bit. So they do still have that little toy sewing machine that I loved so much. I don't remember them having these bears last time, but I could be wrong. They just have so many cool things, but mostly it was all the same as what I filmed. So if you're new here and you want to check that video out, they do have a lot of really cool stuff in here. I noticed these like Muppets dressed up like hockey players. I'm pretty sure those were sold by McDonald's in the 90s. They looked familiar to me, but anyway, we weren't really in here to look around too long, so then we got back on the road. The sun was trying so hard to come out this day, but at least it wasn't raining. So neither one of us had eaten breakfast, so we stopped at McDonald's to get some fries, which were actually hot, which was really nice. And I thought it was hilarious for some reason that they're now like advertising for jobs on their actual bags. I don't know why, I found it really funny / interesting. So we had picked up a grocery haul, so we were stopping back home. Jimmy was there to greet us, of course. If you are unfamiliar, Jimmy is my neighbor's cat, but he's basically always over on our step. He's seriously the most loving cat. So I went inside and put the groceries away really quick so we could get back on the road. And John ended up getting this CD rack. It's really dusty, but it was only $15. He's been collecting CDs again lately, so he wanted to get like a rack for them, and I ended up getting the first 3 seasons of Melrose Place. I watched this show when it was on TV in the 90s, but I haven't watched it since. So we were back on the road. John was actually dog sitting this weekend, so we went to check on the dogs. They had these really cute figurines, I thought, on their front step, because they have a big dog and a little dog, which are both very cute. The big one's name is Harley and the smaller one's name is Sherman, but they're super cute. I'm not even really a dog person either. I'm more of a cat person, but they have this beautiful view from their backyard though. But John was just playing with them a little bit to tire them out some before we left again to continue on thrifting. So now we're back going into a Salvation Army. Oh, I love this store so much. I didn't do a full-on walkthrough in the thrift stores either, because I have just recently been to this one, so I can link that video as well. It was mostly the same stuff, but they did have a little Father's Day display. They usually try to do something like current season at the very beginning, so they had a lot of like sports things for Father's Day. But John saw this baseball book from the 90s that was all about the Blue Jays, so he did end up getting that. He just thought it was really cool. I saw these really amazing bookends. I actually have the same ones already, but they're a different color, that I think I were featured in one of my like very first thrift hauls on this channel years ago. So I thought those were really cool. I can't remember if this was here the last time we were here or not, but that was very like 70s kitchen vibes. So I did just film like a few things, but not like a full-on walkthrough like I normally do, just because we were here recently. So they still had their little outdoor kind of section for summertime. And the people that own this Salvation Army own the other one that I always go to as well. So if you guys have been watching for a while, you know that I used to see this lamp like light fixture at the other location for a long time, and I loved it and was debating on getting it. and then it disappeared. Well, it has reappeared at the other location, and it does have a price on it now too. I don't think I knew before, but it's $30. I thought this shade was really cute. It would actually fit on the lamp that I have in my closet, but I do like the shade that I already have, even though it's clearly made for children. I can't remember if this toaster oven was there or not last time we were here, but maybe I didn't notice, but I thought it was a really interesting concept. It's like part toaster oven, part regular toaster, but it has a very wide slot. The bread that we eat is very wide. It's like a wide loaf sourdough, so I thought that was cool, but I didn't want to get it. Used appliances actually kind of freak me out a little bit. And then the most epic thing that maybe has happened to me in a very long time happened. If you've been following for a long time or even a little time, you might know that I've been looking for this record since 2017, so 6 years. And you might also know that I don't look at the records that frequently lately because I have so many that I just don't bother looking. But for some reason, and I think it's because I wasn't filming a thrift walkthrough, I decided to stop and look, and I found the record. So anyway, I came over into the other side of the store to tell John that I found it because I was almost ready to cry. I was so happy. And I'd never actually been to this side before because John usually looks at the clothing in here. And I noticed how much it's 1950s storefront in here. I'm guessing the entire building, because there's an upstairs as well. This probably was a department-y store back in the 50s, but I just thought that was cool, so I wanted to show it. I also saw this stapler that is clearly probably from the 70s, just judging by the box. I think it's cool it was still in the box. I thought this cookie jar was really cute too. I don't remember seeing this the last time we were in here, but it looks like a bunch of Oreos kind of stacked up on top of one another. Yeah. It's weird. I was not expecting to find as many good things as we did, but I found probably one of the best hauls from this store on this particular day. So I will show you everything that we ended up getting later in the video, but I love these pans. I wish that they still made pans that were cute like that. Again, I'm kind of weird about using old dishes and pans and appliances. They had pretty much all the same furniture as the last time I was there and filmed, but they did have this chair that I don't believe was there that looked pretty groovy. And then this is the place where I get a lot of VHS because they have a massive display, and they're back up to 50 cents. For a while they were 10 cents. I think they were trying to clear out. And right next to, now we're going to the second location, is a flower shop, and they always have tons of petals out on their step and front walkway. I think it's cute. So now we're at the what I've dubbed the chaotic bad energy Salvation Army. And if you remember the last time we were here, I said that the curse had been broken because it didn't feel that way. Well, it's back full force. I don't know what it is. I do think it's partly the employees. They are very nice, but they also have this chaotic energy about them. They run all over the store. It's just weird. I don't know. But anyway, it was back in full force. Again, it just gives me anxiety, the energy in there. I don't know. But I did find a few good things in here. So, but again, I didn't really film too much because we were just here just a few weeks ago, I think. Sometimes I lose track because I go to so many thrift stores all the time, but I thought these glasses at first were strawberry shortcake, and I was going to buy them because strawberry shortcake stuff does really well for me in my Etsy shop. I think I've sold all of the strawberry shortcake stuff I've had, but they're actually not. But they were still cute. I think that these plates were here last time I was here with the card suits. Is that right? I'm pretty sure that's right. Spade Club, whatever. I really liked that little peach dish. I can't remember if that was there, but we've been seeing this swan a lot lately. I think it's a swan. I think we saw that at the antique store that's in the church. And this I just put in because there's a certain demographic of people who will appreciate this. And I guess I'm in that demographic, so... Anyway, enjoy the DVD screen. This is the first time I saw it in a long time. And then I was debating on getting this. I think that it is vintage. I wasn't 100% sure it was vintage, but it looked very vintage. I think it's supposed to be for a card table because it had cards around it, and it was square. I thought this was something I probably could sell, but I was debating on it, and then I noticed that it had a stain on it, so then that kind of made up my mind, and I decided to pass on it. But even looking at it now, I'm like, oh, I should have maybe got it and tried to get the stain out. I don't know. And then I always like to take a scan over the toy area, because you never know if you're going to find a vintage toy back there. It was pretty much the same stuff as last time, and I didn't notice any vintage toys. And then we're going to have a look in the kind of like housewares and stuff. So the furniture, I can't remember if that couch was there or not, but they used to have this headboard here that was cool that I've been showing lately. That was actually at the other store. So they must just move stuff around between stores if it's not selling in one location. The first store we went to is actually quite a bit larger than this store, so I really, really liked this green pitcher. I don't remember that being here the last time that we were here, but I don't really need it. And since shipping is so expensive in Canada, it's not something that I would be willing to try and sell, I guess. I just probably wouldn't make very much money on it. And then I noticed they had a few of these glass like juicers. I've been wanting one of these for a long time, but I've been wanting like a green glass version, but I haven't come across one and it's been years. So I did decide to get one on this day. It was only $3, I think. When I was looking at the appliances a little, they had this ice cream maker that looked interesting. When I was a kid, I wanted an ice cream maker more than anything in the world. For Christmas, one year my grandma got one. And I was so jealous. It's something that we still laugh about in my family. And then they had one of those like warmers. Speaking of my grandma, she actually gave me a brand new one that's still in the box that I haven't even taken out of the box, that I think she got as a gift in like the 70s, but she never used it. I think it was just up in her attic or something. So we should get that out sometime if I ever make some vintage recipes. Like I keep saying I want to, but then I never end up doing it. I just have to be in the right mood for it, I guess. So this piece of PYREX was actually like England PYREX, but I could not for the life of me get it to show up on camera on the bottom. So eventually I just gave up. I'm not sure why I even left this footage in, but here we are. And they did still have the two, I think they had these here the last time I was here, the Spice of Life little saucepans, I think. They were $7 a piece. I collect Spice of Life. I have like a collection video up on that if you're new, but I'm not really actively looking for new pieces. The space that I have to contain the collection is basically full, so that tells me that I should probably just stop. Unless I found a really cool piece or something that I don't already have that I don't see very often, I don't know. So recently I just sold a mug that I paid $1 for, I think, for like $29. So I've been really eager to find vintage mugs, but I had no luck. I used to see vintage mugs so frequently, and now it just seems like so hard to find. I guess you could say that for a lot of vintage things nowadays, but oh well, someday. Most of this stuff was all here the last time, I think. I can't remember if these were here last time or not, but I thought these were cute, but I didn't need them. I don't even know if they were that old either for like reselling purposes. Then I spotted this old, well, it's probably only like 90s, this like tea tin from Tetley Tea, I believe. Yeah, I would say almost all of this stuff was probably here the last time I did a more thorough walkthrough, so I can link that video below. I think these dishes were here last time, or maybe I've seen them at another store, but I really like these a lot. I think they're super cute, but I don't need them, so that's like the hardest thing about like thrifting all the time. I thought this tray was really pretty too. is, yeah, you just see stuff all the time. So then we got done in there. We were going to get some Subway, which it had been forever since we got Subway, so I was excited. And my grandparents actually lived in this town in the 1950s, so every time I'm walking around in the town, I just think of them and how they walked these same streets in the 1950s, and it just gives me like all the feels. So I think this building must have been a pharmacy originally, judging by that RX on the, that's like built into the brick. So after we got Subway, we actually went to an antique store, and I did a walkthrough, which was my last video, so I can link that. So then we finally made it home with our Subway. We were both starving because we had just had the fries, and that's all we ate all day. But we picked up some, in our grocery haul, we got some vegan cheese and vegan turkey, and we just usually always have vegan mayo in our fridge, so we just added that to the subs. We just get like veggie and then add that. It was so good. And then recently I'd also found this like retro Pepsi. I don't know if they sell it all the time or it's like a limited time thing, but instead of like high fructose corn syrup, it's actually made with real sugar, so that's why I was having it. And Marley was so excited that John was home because he had already been gone for a few days at this point. She wasn't even like letting him eat his food because she was just so excited to be there with him home. So while we were eating, we were watching a movie. So we just recently finished the series North of 60, which is a Canadian show from the 90s. I don't really know like how well known it is outside of Canada, but it was a very popular Canadian show. Anyway, we just finished the series, and then after the series was over, they had made some made-for-TV movies. So we were just watching one of those while we ate. All right, so now I'll show you what we ended up getting. So this was all from the first Salvation Army, but I got this retro, looks like 80s, maybe late 70s fan. I know my parents had one like very similar. It was from Sears. I ended up getting this for $6. It said $6 works as is, which made me a little nervous, but it was only $6, so I was like, whatever. So I guess the as is part just means that it's a little bit loud, but I don't mind that. It definitely works. It's very powerful. And then from the same Salvation Army, we also got these two vintage stools, or like footstools, I guess is a better way to put it. So I thought these would be perfect for our basement. They kind of match our basement vibe, but also when we're like watching movies down there, the coffee table is like hard and it's not super comfortable to put your feet up on, so I thought those would work. And then I got this little mini CRTV. I'm so excited about this. I think I'm gonna put this in like the video store part of the basement. I can link that video as well, but I'm just very excited about that. And then I'll show you the other like loose things that we got. So John did end up getting this baseball, I almost called it a magazine, but it's a book. I think this was $10, but he was super excited about that. When John was a kid, he loved the Blue Jays, and I think he would have been like 9 or 10 when they won the World Series 2 years in a row. And then I saw this magazine, which their magazines are only 50 cents, and this like BTS band, I think it's like Korean pop band. I'm not actually familiar, except that I know that they have a really big following. So I quickly looked it up on eBay, and that magazine sells for around $20 or $25, so for 50 cents. We're eBay resellers, if you don't know. And then I got this Bon Fête, like happy birthday thing for John's birthday cake. And then, of course, I had to get the Dolly record. I think everybody knew that as soon as they saw it. But I did also find some other records as well while I was looking, which is typically why I don't really look that much anymore, because I had given up being able to like think I was gonna find this record. But it just goes to show that as soon as you like stop thinking you're gonna find something is when you're gonna find it. But this reminds me so much of my childhood, because my grandma would play she would play this record all the time in her house. So every time I hear the record, I just think of like Christmas when I was a kid at her house. But I also found a Phil Collins record. I found an Olivia Newton-John record, just like greatest hits, volume 2. And then I also found this Peter Frampton live record, which is a double record, which I was like, whoa, I was not expecting to find that. So I am happy that I got it. I was just going to say, the reason that I haven't been looking is because I have so many records already that I'm like, I don't really need any more, but this is definitely worth it. I'm very, very excited to listen to this. And then lastly, we also got Trooper Hot Shots, which I don't think I'd ever seen this record before, but actually has like little holes in the front. I thought that was cool. It was in really good shape. And John also found this book by one of his favorite authors, so we got that. I think he said it's like 3 books in one, which would make sense because it's quite thick. And then I did end up getting the deer bookends. I just thought I couldn't leave these behind. They were $7. I think I mentioned earlier I do have the same ones, except they're like pastel colors. I think I only paid like $1.50 each for those back in the day. But I'm not sure if I'm going to keep these or resell them, but I'm pretty sure I could probably resell them for like $25 or $30 easily. So, but they do kind of fit more of like my 70s aesthetic than the ones I currently have. So I don't know. I just figured it was worth picking up, and I'll figure out at some point. I only found a few VHS today, so that one looked really good. Didn't have that one. This one I thought looked good too. I'd never heard of this before. Never heard of this one before either, but it looked good. And then we saw The Indian in the Cupboard, which was a movie from like the 90s, I think, when we were kids, but we both haven't seen it since we were kids. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, we should get this and watch it sometime. So I don't even remember anything about the movie, really. It's been so long. And then John found this book by Shel Silverstein. And then I did end up getting the little citrus juicer. Now, because I bought this, I'll probably find a green glass one within like the next month or two. Like, just guarantee it. That's what happens almost every time. And then I found this adorable bank. I think it's so cute. It's very like giving me like 70s vibes with the owls and the color tones. This is actually ended up being free. It was $10, but at the Salvation Army we go to, they have like cards where when you spend $10 you get a stamp. Well, since we go so frequently, we, get 10 stamps fairly easily. So we had actually already checked out, and then I just happened to be looking in their display case and saw that. I was like, oh, I really want that. And they don't charge tax there either, so it was just free. So it was kind of cool. And then I got this little basket for $3. I've been looking for like a basket like this for a while now, and I haven't found one at a thrift store, so I was excited about that. So I took a shower, got in my pajamas, I took the fan apart and cleaned it, set it up there next to my bed, and it works perfect. It's so powerful. It is a little bit loud, but that's all right. And so Marley was very upset because John had to go back to dog sitting, so she was very upset. She was meowing the whole time I was in the shower and when I was cleaning the fan, so I decided to distract her with a laser pointer. As soon as she hears me even pick it up, she will come running. So she was right there by the door as soon as I walked out. So I usually like to go up and down the stairs a little bit because it will tire her out and kind of distract her. So we did that for a little while. She is 18 though, so I don't like to do it for too long. So then, even though it was only like 7:30, I think, I decided to just get in bed and watch some TV. I figured she'd come in and cuddle with me. She did get up on the bed right away, but she was almost instantly like, okay, bye. Like, she didn't care. She doesn't sleep on the bed with us. She just goes into her own little area and sleeps. But in Canada, we have this app called CTV, and on that app, it's free, but it has a ton of old shows, which is really cool. It's free, but you just have to watch commercials, which, I mean, isn't that big of a deal. But they have tons of old shows from like the 60s and 70s and 80s, like sitcoms specifically. They have this whole section called Throwback. So love that. There's so many shows on there that I've never seen streaming anywhere else, so it's pretty cool. But I decided to watch some I Dream of Jeannie. I've been going through that series like from start to finish for, I don't know, it's been a couple of years now, to be honest, because I don't watch it that frequently, but I thought this would be the perfect thing to just like lay down and watch before bed because I get car sick really easily. You might have noticed I was wearing nausea bands in the clips. Some of the clips, I forget to take them off, but even with the nausea bands and I take these ginger tabs, I don't know, I always feel drained after like a long day of driving. So I realized I was on season 5, so I was getting to where I was going, but I noticed that it had 6 seasons, so I was really confused when I went back to look, because I was like, no, that show only had 5 seasons, but they actually have both of the TV movies on here, which I'm really excited about. I've been looking for one of them. I have the other one, but it's kind of exciting, so I'll end up watching those after I finish the season, because I love a completion. Like, even if they're cheesy and not that great, I just love completing things. But I was actually watching the wedding episode, which I'd never seen before, so that was cool. Anyway, that was my day out thrifting and some other things. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again soon.